back, everybody, to another edition of the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast, or Atlanta Scene Sports Center, whatever you prefer to call us. In this edition, we are actually live on Spreaker.com and live on Instagram, so if you're listening out there, make sure to go onto my Instagram Live so you can ask any questions. It's basically our text line if you haven't been on our show before. That's basically what we use because we're cheap. We're kids and teens, so we're not going to buy a big text line. So basically, if you want to join the show and ask questions, go to my Instagram Live, which is Blake_Newsom. That's BLAKE_NEWSOM. And this show is on the Atlanta United Current News. I'm joined with big Atlanta United fan Connor Quinn, and yeah, let's get started. Basically, what you heard there with the intro is the Kerncraft 400 was Zombie Nation by Zombie Nation. That's usually their goal and intro song, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll jump right into it. Connor, what do you have to say on basically how Atlanta United has performed going into this 2-week break?
Well, I'm definitely impressed with how they've performed over the past few weeks, because they dropped in the standings a little bit, especially when they lost up in D.C., which was very brutal. They should have won that game easily, because especially they should have won it twice, because at home they should have beaten them, but D.C. just outplayed them after 20 minutes. And I think they did well. I just think if Joseph Martinez had played in some of those games, it could have made a game change, and hopefully Atlanta United could have taken out 3 points from some of those matches.
And today is the 16th, correct?
Yes, it is.
So basically, the latest news is today that Brad Guzan has been called up to Atlanta United after the Gold Cup. I think they replaced him with Tim Howard for the rest of the battle for the U.S. men's national team in the Gold Cup. They brought up Altidore, Howard, Dempsey, and Bradley for the rest to help out the rest of the young team in the Gold Cup. To help them, I think I don't know. So I'm asking you, Connor, personally. Does the Gold Cup help in World Cup qualifiers?
Yes, it does. It's almost like a practice tournament in a way, but it does count. Of course, they have the World Cup qualifiers before, and of course, USA dominated in that. So they also play in this Gold Cup, which also helps in a way it's also a separate tournament, which of course counts, like I said, but it's also a good practice for them to get prepared for the World Cup next summer.
And hopefully the U.S. will go further than the first round of tournament where they got knocked out by Belgium in the first round. And I think they didn't really do too well in the pool play either, did they? I think they won their first game.
Yeah, against Ghana after a late goal from a sub. That was just incredible. I remember that play.
Then they went on to, I think, win the second game as well, or was it? And then they went on to play Germany, and everybody knows that the U.S. had a pretty good chance of advancing there, but they still had to at least compete hard, and they lost 1-0 after a long match against Germany. Went on to the World Cup tournament play against Belgium and got knocked out in the very first round. So not the best showing, but anyway, getting back to Atlanta United, we'll go on to the stats for the top players here on Atlanta United. As you got Joseph. How do you pronounce his name?
Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. He's got 9 goals this year. Then you go on to Miguel Almiron, who also has, I think he has
9 goals.
He has 8.
I think it's 8 or 9.
I think it's 8. Let me check. Yeah, it's 8. But yeah.
And you have Greg Garza, who is also joining Miguel Almiron in the 2017 All-Star Game in Soldier Field in Chicago against Real Madrid. That'll be an excellent match.
Yeah, that'll be definitely be interesting for Portugal star Ronaldo leading his Real Madrid group out to Chicago. That would definitely be interesting. But that's going to be something I tune into. And as Connor knows, I don't watch soccer too much, neither does my family. But I think I'll definitely tune in for that one. As and then you go on Hector Villalba, who's got 8 goals as well this year. Then you go on to Julian Gressel, who's got some goals this year too. He's got 3. Emil Assad, he's got 2. In assists, Emil Assad has got 9. Almiron with 8. Gressel with 6. Villalba with 4, and Greg Garza with 2. Shots, you got Villalba with 47. Almiron with 44. Joseph Martinez with 32. Emil Assad with 29, and Gressel with 17. Just clicked on the wrong thing. And then you go to goalkeepers. You got Alec Can with 56 saves, 4 shutouts, and 83 shots faced. And then Kyle Renish, the backup goalkeeper, he's got 2 saves, so he only played 1 game. And then you got Alexander Tambikas, who's not played at all yet. Maybe he'll be a future goalie, who knows.
Yeah, I think he'll come in at least once or twice this season, especially if Atlanta United's leading at least by 2 goals towards the end of the game. I really like to see him play, and so does his whole fan base.
Especially with the 16 and 17-year-old also on the roster, this team looks really sharp for a team.
Andrew Carlton, of course, that player who's 18, Brandon Vasquez from California. He's played extremely well coming in. He had that assist against Colorado when Joseph Martinez put it in the net later in the game when they had the 1-0 shutout victory.
And that'll be oh crap! What did I do? Okay, I thought I just lost the page I was on, guys. Hold on. So basically, we go on to shots on goal with Hector Villalba with 23, Almiron with 20, Joseph Martinez with 16, Emil Assad with 12, and Julian Gressel with 5. Yellow cards, not the best here, is Carlos Carmona's got 6. He's got 31 fouls in total. He looks like a troublemaker out there. Jeff Laurentowicz has got 4 yellow. Yeah. He's got 4 yellow. Almiron's got 4 yellow. Gressel's got 3 yellow. And Emil Assad's got 3 yellow. Especially for Carlos Carmona, a midfielder, to have 6 yellow cards and be with a red one game. That's not what you want to see out of this first-year team.
He was even suspended when he got his 5th yellow card. He's suspended for a game.
Yeah. It looks like he's the troublemaker of the team, definitely. Anyway, we'll move on to the upcoming first 2 games to start this second half of the season for Atlanta United, as they take on Orlando City in Orlando on July 21st, but then they come home to face them, I think, on July 29th in Bobby Dodd Stadium. So, Connor, how is Atlanta going to be able to take on this hard test of Orlando City to start out this season? To start out the second half of the season.
Well, this is definitely not a team to go to sleep on, Blake. Orlando City has been a hot team ever since they've come into the league. With the 2015 MLS expansion draft, they've done awfully well getting Kaká from Europe, which is a very good player. That's the player to watch in both of these matches when Atlanta United plays them. And you also have Kyle Larin, who's on the U.S. men's national team, who plays forward, and he also can really make some trouble in the game.
And I definitely agree. I mean, as you say it best, Atlanta United really needs to come out strong, at least in an A team, as they actually look like they have a tough stretch here to start out, as they have 2 games against Orlando City, then they have a tough match against Sporting KC, play DC United one more time in August, then they play Philly, FC Dallas, New England, Orlando City once again, then LA Galaxy, Montreal, Philadelphia, and New England again. And I think that's the end of doesn't the season end like it's September 30th, and that's when the playoffs start in October?
Yes, it's around the time MLB postseason starts as well.
Yeah. But basically, I think that's about done for this segment here on Atlanta Sports Podcast. Coming up after the break, we'll talk more about the standings and what Atlanta United really needs to do to be able to get themselves in an even better spot to start out the playoffs in a good spot, who are currently in 4th place, Toronto FC in 2nd, New York City FC in 3rd, and for some reason they're not even showing who's in 1st place. Or maybe it's just messed up on Google, I don't know. And then we'll move on to more Atlanta United news, as probably 1 or 2 more segments here before the show ends. But make sure not to go away here on the break. You're listening to the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast. I'm Blake Newsome, along with Connor Quinn, and we'll see you on the other side.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Come on. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Yeah. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Most feds in the state wanna see by me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other rapper got a hit, but shouted he not out. Who set the city on fire soon as he got free? The king back now. Raws don't even know how to act now. Hit the club, strippers getting naked before I sat down. Still ballin', money stacked tall in shack now. Still push a button to let the roof on the lag down. I'm on the road doing shows, put my Mac down. Mississippi to Philly, Albuquerque to Chat Town. I got the crowd yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
all my hot girls yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
all the dope boys yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
front to back, they yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Get with other southern rapper hooded than this. I got rich and I'm still in a hooligan clique. You be rapping by blow, I don't move in the brick. Talk about shooting out, now we're doing it prick. If I hit you in the face, you gon' be suing me quick. If I catch another case, I know it truly be missed. So I'ma keep a cool head, stay out of the news headlines, and show these other rappers it's bedtime. It's clear to see that I'm ahead of my time. I cop the chromed out, hard top career with a shine. I got some time, they ain't nothing, 'cause I get better with time. Who got a flow and a live show better than mine? I got a packed house yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
all my hot girls yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
all the dope boys yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
front to back, they yelling,
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. You wanna be?
And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of... I felt like I started the show over again. Welcome back to another segment of the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast. I'm still here with Connor Quinn, and I didn't want to bore you guys with the whole song, so we basically cut it short there. And moving on to the ticket sales at Bobby Dodd and Mercedes-Benz's next segment, we decided to get into the standing talk. But basically, Bobby Dodd, even though it's not the biggest stadium in the world, but Atlanta United is still... Fans are still selling out. I think pretty much almost every game they've been to there, and I think there's only been one game where it hasn't been sold out, right, Connor?
No, every match has been sold out, Blake.
Dang, even better than I thought. But Mercedes-Benz is definitely ready, as people have shown. The Falcons stuff is getting ready outside of the stadium. You know how they had the Falcons? You know how they have the Falcon, the statue outside of Mercedes-Benz?
Yes, I do.
They should definitely. If they were to make something about Atlanta United? I think the hard thing is there's not really a creature that's united. So I don't know what they'd make for Atlanta United. Would you?
No, I don't. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure Arthur Blank, who all the fans call Uncle Arthur, I don't know if he has anything in mind for them, but I think they'll just keep the current sculpture that they already have.
Yeah, but hopefully they'll make something for Atlanta United out there too, because that'd make it at least even. But anyway, as people were showing with the Halo board with the Falcons stuff out there, they actually came out with the Atlanta United one today too, or over the last few days, and it actually looks pretty cool, as you say. I think the Falcons also looks pretty cool, but Mercedes-Benz is coming together. By the way, everybody, go check out my new YouTube video on the Atlanta Kid, where I showed off some of Mercedes-Benz and my Atlanta Falcons hype video for this year. That's the Atlanta Kid, all one word, all lowercase. Yeah, come subscribe, and you can see my hype videos that are coming. I made the new Falcons one. I'll have probably a Braves postseason. If they do make it there, I'll have a new Hawks one for the new season. Hopefully, even if they are in the worst 10 teams in the league. But anyway, getting back to Atlanta United, what do you think has been such success, even though they are a new team? What do you think has kept them going over these last 8 matches or 9 matches that they've had at home? All the fans still coming to sell out, even though they are deep into the season now.
Well, as you said, Blake, about with all the fans, it's just a matter of how much energy that the fans bring into every match. Like all the players on Atlanta United, sorry for the bad grammar there. All the Atlanta United players and coaching staff said they're trying their hardest in every home match. They're bringing 3 points to the fans, and as well as never mind. Blake, go ahead.
You're fine. Keep going.
Oh, it's okay. I don't have anything else.
Oh, okay. But anyway, Atlanta United has definitely shown out. As the game I went to was against New York FC, and actually, it's funny how I think they always bring out a funny poster before the game. I think the game that has shook Bobby Dodd Stadium the most is the San Jose game, which is the latest game where there was 1-0 very early for San Jose. Atlanta United fought to tie it back up. and then San Jose went up. I think it was Atlanta United went up 2-1 when San Jose quickly scored back in the next 45 seconds or so, tied at 2, and Atlanta United scored 2 goals late and went 4-2. That was on 4th of July, which I think that was probably made it even more crowded because people want to see it because the Braves and United were in town that night playing, but Atlanta United won on a 4-2 great match, while the Braves game, they got blown out by the Astros by like 10 runs. So I think definitely it was better to tune into the Atlanta United game that night. But anyway, I think Bobby Dodd has definitely been special for the crew from United. I think the students, so I think, have been a lot of the sales as they've been able to come out and support Atlanta United. Looks like the same guys that wear the yellow outfits for Georgia Tech have come out in red and black as pretty much with United stuff on. Doesn't it seem like that, Connor? As you're a Georgia Tech fan, you know those yellow guys that are by the band that are dressed up in all. They either have the yellow suits or they body paint themselves.
Yes, I am familiar with them.
Yeah, they've come out with the same thing. They've put Atlanta United jerseys on, and I think they've made their yellow hats like red and black, and they've been there. A lot of the Georgia Tech fans have come out and supported them. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, you have your own professional team on your campus that plays there. So I mean, who wouldn't? And just thinking of like what the Falcons would do if they were to play their preseason games in Sanford Stadium while they can. If Mercedes-Benz isn't ready in time, I definitely think the Georgia fans would come out and support them. I mean, who wouldn't? You've got a professional team out there for once. I mean, Georgia might be fun for them to watch out there.
I have a correction on what you said there, Blake, about Sanford Stadium. It's confirmed on August 26th that Mercedes-Benz Stadium will be ready.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, I was just going basically on the news of what they had. I mean, it should be ready because I think it has to be ready because now that I'm thinking of at the topic, as Mercedes-Benz does host the 2 games that week. The week after August 26th is they have the Tennessee-Georgia Tech game on Monday, while they have, I think it's Monday, right? It's a Monday game. While Saturday they have on College Game Day, week 1 will be Florida State versus Alabama. And Connor, who's going to both of those games, I'll most likely be going to Alabama, Florida State. But yeah, another thing I want to touch on here in this segment is Alec Kann's injury, and Connor, you take it away.
During the Columbus game, up in Columbus for the second meeting and final meeting of the season, unless they meet up in the postseason, Alec Kann, he suffered a left quad injury late in the game as he almost gave up a goal for Columbus to take away the clean sheet for him, but apparently someone's a cleat or someone on Columbus. I couldn't tell from replay who it was, but the cleat, I don't know if this has anything to do with his injury. Maybe he just tweaked it, but the cleat went right into his quad, and he's going to be out for at least 5 to 7 more weeks. And he's played awfully well the past few weeks. Before he got injured for Atlanta United, making that great save to keep the 3 points against Colorado Rapids. When, of course, Joseph Martinez had that goal about the 67th minute, I think. He played awfully well in that game. Didn't face many shots, but still got the clean sheet. But I'm very disappointed because he's definitely gotten improved pretty quickly. And Kyle Rainish, I'm impressed for how this performance is against the San Jose Earthquakes. But I just think that it's best for Alec Kann to recover as quickly as he can.
And I definitely agree. I mean, with Brad Guzan still not being able to help out with Atlanta United yet, while still being, I think, even though we just said he's been called for Atlanta United duty, who knows, he could still be with the U.S. team for the Gold Cup, and he'll still have to be with them for the rest of World Cup qualifiers, so he won't be able to be with them every time, because, to be honest, as Connor and I were talking about this the other day while we were playing FIFA, Brad Guzan, I do believe, will be successful with Heroes at Atlanta United, but he's not really as successful at the international level, as Tim Howard is a lot better overall in FIFA-wise, but Brad Guzan is getting the starts more, it seems like, than Tim Howard in current day, doesn't it?
Yes, I think it was just the matchup last night giving Tim Howard a break, because he's played a lot of MLS matches with his MLS club, the Rapids, who gave up that late goal against Joseph Martinez in that match. But,
that is one thing to think of is MLS goes on at basically the opposite time of year as the rest of the world. So as the rest of the world plays soccer, so when you think about it, it's, as you said, he plays for the MLS, which is at the same time he's having to play with the U.S., while Brad Guzan plays for a European club, and when his season's over, he's able to go full-time with the United States, which makes it, I think, a lot easier for him to be able to have playtime with the United States more than Tim Howard. But yeah, I think that's a good point that you brought up there. But anyway, coming up after our final segment here on the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast or Atlanta Teen Sports Center, we'll talk about the standings and how Atlanta United has to be able to come out on top, and we'll talk about more breaking news and stuff like that. Make sure to stick around. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break. You're listening to the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast.
Fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us, make us feel proud. In the streets our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us. Every nation, all around us. Sing forever young, singing songs underneath the sun. Let's rejoice in the beautiful game, and together at the end of the day, we all say, when I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. So wave your flag, now wave your flag, now wave your flag. Oh, 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 oh. Fire, give you reason, take you higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us, make us feel proud. In the streets our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us. Every nation, all around us. Sing forever young, singing songs underneath the sun. Let's rejoice in the beautiful game, and together at the end of the day, we all say, when I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. So wave your flag, now 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 wave your flag. Just like a waving flag. I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. So wave your flag, now 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 wave your flag, wave your flag. Oh, 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 oh. And everybody will be singing it.
Welcome back, everybody. I've played that full song because I thought the other one was more catchy than the last one, to be honest, for soccer fans. Basically, we'll get back into the more Atlanta United news talk. We'll talk a little bit more about Brad Guzan, who we mentioned a little bit earlier. Basically, he's scheduled to talk on Tuesday with Atlanta Journal-Constitution which is basically, I don't know when. Do you think he'll be able to start officially the Orlando City match, Connor?
I don't know for sure if he's going to start the Orlando City match. It might be Kyle Ramish again. There's no specific date when he's actually going to be coming, so it's sometime. What were you saying after the Gold Cup?
Yeah, basically, as Altidore, Howard, Bradley, and Dempsey have been brought up to the United States men's national team to perform in the Gold Cup, Howard has been released off the reserves for now to be able to come to play for Atlanta United, which is perfect because the transfer has been able to happen around this time. So hopefully he'll be able to play. If not, it'll probably be late August. Hopefully, if not, it'll be probably early August or mid-August. But for now, hopefully we'll see him out there in Orlando City. And how do you think he'll do? Do you agree with me as I said, he's not really the best international level goalie, but he's pretty good when he's playing for a league.
I agree with you, Blake. He performed very well when he was playing in the European League. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really an expert on any of those leagues, to be honest. But I think he will play well with Atlanta United. It's just because, like Arthur Blank focused more on offensive powerhouse players, like players like Joseph Martinez, who's obviously road star on offense, but they spent a lot of their money on offensive players. Meanwhile, you have defensive players who aren't so good and are older, like Tyrone Mears, who's in his late 30s. He came over from the Sounders, who's from Manchester, England. You got Michael Parkhurst, who previously played with the Revolution and the Columbus Crew. And you have some players like that, like Laurentowicz, who played with LA Galaxy for a long time in his career. So you have guys like that who've been, just can't, it's like all the wear and tear, and they're about coming close to the end of their careers.
And basically, it seems like that a lot of the players on Atlanta United are there's only 2 30-year-olds on the 2 or 3 30-year-olds on the roster. Now you got Guzan in there, who's also, I believe, who's in his 30s, but he's still got some time to play, especially if he's a goalie. He still probably has 5-6 years left in him, don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely think he can pull it out a few more years. He's definitely not as good as he once was. And it's really unfortunate, but I think he still can bring it to the field. I think he'll perform well.
I don't know if you saw this the other day, but I'd like to bring it up while we're at it. The other day, I think the United States training facility for the soccer had a stream going on. Atlanta United was playing Columbus Crew, and their practice teams were playing each other in the training facility for the United States to hopefully make the United States national team in a few years. But did you ever catch any of that match, Connor?
Unfortunately, I didn't. I think I was busy out doing yard work or something like that.
Yeah, it was on Facebook Live, so that's how I saw a few minutes of it.
Yeah,
but,
I don't really go on Facebook often.
Me either. But I saw some of the stream. Looks like Atlanta United was playing good, but who knows? I think they were winning 1-0 at the time, but that was just a practice game. But hopefully, those players will maybe come along and help us play. We'll add a few more young stars to the roster as soon as a few, there are 30-year-olds on the roster. If these slip out, we'll be able to replace them with more 20-year-olds and so to help out with this team. Because I think this team will be dominant here. I think we'll be one of the top 5 teams here in the MLS come 1 or 2 years at max because of how young we are and how we're performing in our first year. But who knows? I mean, anything's possible here in sports, but or not anything, but a lot of things can happen. But who knows? Hopefully Atlanta United will stay just as good as they are. Moving on to more standings talk, because I don't know if Google's backed up or not, but basically it says, is Toronto FC in the lead, Connor?
Chicago Fire, I believe.
Yeah, because it skips right to number 2. Yes, it is Chicago Fire. On Google, it has, instead of number 1, it shows what it is, the number, the club and the points and stuff like that. So I had to go to MLS.com, which it does show Chicago Fire's in front. But Atlanta United is hovering over the playoff line. They have 30 points, while only a few points behind, and 7, who's 7 up. The 7 seed, New York Red Bulls, who are just below it, who have 26. So if Atlanta United does lose a few games, they could be right back under the playoff line once again. So they might as well just keep winning while they're at it, and hopefully they can improve that away record that they have right now, which is 3-5-3. If they can improve as they are on the road, hopefully as they are at home, I think this team will be definitely dominant and be scary to play here in their opening season here if they get late in the playoffs.
I definitely agree with you, Blake. It's definitely hard because in the past few weeks they played a lot of games in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Of course, you had that random DC United game up in at Washington D.C. at RFK Stadium randomly on a Wednesday night when it just didn't seem like they were ready for that game. I believe they would have won if it was like on a weekend or if they were at home. Of course, they lost that one at home against DC on April 30th, but DC just out hustled them as the name of the game there in that match. Kellen DaCosta really showed it. He's very short, but he can run fast, and he showed it. And he breezed right past the defense and put it right in the net.
And basically, what I've heard is Atlanta United has been pretty good. They've come out swinging this opening season, but they've played some tough games. And basically, as credit to 92.9 The Game here in Atlanta, I was listening to them one night, and they said that somebody was watching the game who was live. He was somebody who was I think the producer of the show, and he was live at the game earlier that day, and he said they just looked so sluggish that day because they had played so many matches in a short amount of time that they just were ready for a break. They were so sluggish that day. But who knows? Hopefully Atlanta United will be able to keep themselves up. Hopefully this 2-week break came at the right time. Not too many of the players are on the All-Star game, which is a good and bad thing. Like you like your team to be able to support, but at the same time, you like it to be able to have some players where they can rest up. So only it's Almiron and Garza, correct?
Yes, both in the All-Star game.
Yeah. So those two players, hopefully they'll have a good game here against Real Madrid coming up. But other than that, the rest of the team, including Josef Martinez, who missed a lot of time this year already and still leading this team in goals, will be able to get even better and practice when he can and rest up as well. So hopefully he'll be completely healed and not even have to worry about his injury that's still probably in the back of his mind. But moving on to the standings, current standings, Chicago Fire, first place with 38 points. Same with Toronto FC with 38. The only difference is their goal differential. With everything else is pretty much tied. The goal differential is the one that puts Chicago Fire over the top. New York FC in third with 33 points. We're right behind them with 30. And pretty much the only thing that separates us between them is the points. Other than that, we're pretty much deadlocked, as they just have one more win than us. But if it came down to a tiebreaker, we're pretty much in a good scenario because we're pretty much deadlocked in everything. And same with goals against each other because they beat us 3-1 up in Yankee Stadium. Isn't that where the New York City FC plays, if I'm not correct?
Yes, Yankee Stadium's correct.
Yeah. So they scored 3 against us. We scored 1 and lost that match. Well, we beat them at home 3-1. Exactly the same score. But yeah, and then we'll go on to the rest is Orlando City, who is right behind us. So it definitely makes it even more crucial for Atlanta United to win those 2 games to be able to gain some ground and hopefully claw up a little bit in the standings. As Orlando City has 29 points, Columbus Crew with 28, New York, the Red Bulls with 26, Union with 23, Montreal with 21, New England with 20, and DC United rounding at the bottom with 18. And then moving on to the West. Should we say the West, or is that okay? Do you think we should just leave it alone?
I think Eastern Conference is more important right now.
Yeah. We'll say Sporting Kansas City is, after their down season last year, are back on top with 32. And basically, I thought last year Seattle came out with a very bad start to the year, still came out and was able to win the tournament and win the league. But basically, they started out under the playoff line and were pretty bad and had some crucial games and were still able to come together late in the season. Dempsey was able to come back from his injury and they helped him win the tournament, in which they won the cup, right, for the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
As you're also a Seattle fan in the West, right?
Yeah, I've been a Seattle fan before Atlanta United came in the league. I stuck around with them a little bit.
And any other points you want to get on before we end the show, Connor?
I believe we've covered everything that's needed to be covered.
And yes, I agree with him there. Thank you guys for listening to our live edition of the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast. I don't know how many people are actually listening, but you can still listen after the show is off. Just make sure to follow us here on Spreaker, at Atlanta Teen Sports Center, or as our old name was, All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast. But make sure to follow us so you can keep updated with all our podcasts, as we're trying our best to get out some more episodes. And before we end, I'd like to say that I'll be attending the two sports broadcasting camps upcoming this next 2 weeks. This is tonight. We're recording this on a Sunday night. I have camp tomorrow at Emory University in Atlanta for the sports broadcasting camp, and then the week after I'll be up in Boston. So everybody wish me well against the Patriots fans. But hopefully I'll have learned some more. Well, hopefully we'll have some special guests on, and I'll be able to pump some more podcasts out while I'm up there. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to another edition of the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast, or Atlanta Teen Sports Center, whatever you prefer to call us. As always, I'm Blake Newsome, your host, along with my co-host Connor Quinn, and we try to get some more people on the show this time. We tried to contact Ethan and Jay and Colin Easley, one of our special guests, who was actually on my old network, Time Out Sports. It's kind of dead, so you don't really need to go check that out. But and we also tried to check Jay, but nobody was able to come on, so it's just been me and Connor again. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time. Unite and conquer, everybody.